Greetings, mortals, and welcome. Please present your tickets for validation. Thank you. Your existence has been acknowledged, and you have been granted access every Thursday and Friday. You will be accompanying your guides, Krista and Brandy, along with a world-renowned guest. They will be exploring an intriguing tendril of what humans refer to as reality each week, as they strive to advance you further down the path to the truths of your physical earth and what lies on the other side. Remember to please keep your hands and feet in the vehicle at all times, and do not exit until the craft has come to a complete stop.
Hey everybody, welcome.
Hey, happy Friday now.
This is Friday.
I don't even know what day it is.
Get your day straight, Brandy.
I can't. All I know is that, with my job, I'm working every day. I don't know what day it is.
I hear you. Yeah, I know. We definitely stay pretty busy, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If I'm not at work, I'm on the show. Or if I'm not on the show, I'm sleeping. That's how it is.
Yeah, that's my life too. I get you. I definitely get you. We appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. It's Friday, yay! Weekend's here.
Yay!
You got big plans this weekend?
Yeah, I get to work. Yes.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Fun.
No, not really. I don't have any plans.
Yeah, I'm gonna go spend some time with my granddaughter tomorrow. That's about it.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, I haven't got to see her in a little bit, so I'm gonna go see her, spend some time with her, so get some grandma time in.
Grandma time.
Yay! We got a couple of announcements to make, and one of them here. I'm going to talk about the Alabama Bigfoot Conference, but I'm going to wait until our guest is up for the other one we're going to talk about. Go ahead, Brandy.
Oh, of course. The speaker lineup is just amazing anyway, but it's the 2024 Alabama Bigfoot Conference, and it's held in Anniston, Alabama. We're trying to keep the tickets low so everybody can come and enjoy. It's going to be a good time. Of course, our host MC is going to be Tex, and our speakers are going to be Jason McLean, Greg Ogles, Martin Groves, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, Daryl Denton, of course us, Blondes and Booze, and Barton Nunnelly. So make sure you take time out, get your tickets now. The dinner seating is already reserved out, so there is no more available, but you can still come see us. We'll probably hang out after that somewhere, so just stay tuned. Let us know if you want to hang out afterwards, and we'll all find a place to go.
Yep. And then we do have another event, but we're going to talk about that when we bring our guest up, because she's the one that's putting that one on. And you want to run through the shows this week, and then we'll just bring Jenn on up.
Absolutely. On Mondays at 7 p.m., it's Danielle Diva and the Diva Dimension. At 8 p.m., it is Tex and Texas Front Porch, and his best co-host, me. On Tuesday at 8 p.m., it is Beyond BMR with his lovely co-host, Krista. And Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central, it's Donnie Cho Says Stuff. At 8 p.m., it is Barton Nunnelly and the Inhumanoids with his wife, Letitia. On Thursdays at 12 p.m. Central, it is Brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob. 8 o'clock on Thursdays, of course, it is us, Blondes and Booze. On Fridays at 8 p.m., of course, again, it is us with Blondes, Booze, and the Woo. Saturdays, we currently have no show on our lineup, but on Sundays at 5 p.m. Central, it's Truth or Tinfoil. And at 6 p.m. Central, Tex and Danielle Diva release their newest episode of Infamous Minds.
That's a mouthful. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring Jenn up. Hey there.
Hi.
Hey, Jenn.
How are you?
I don't know how you keep all that straight, because I was like,
right?
What?
Yeah.
No, I goof up all the time with the changes and everything. And it's going to change again soon because we're adding Monica Rollins, who is on the the first season of Monster Quest. So she's going to be doing a show on our channel lineup. So that's going to change really soon. So yeah, it is a mouthful and it's hard to keep up with.
It is. It definitely is. And I had talked about the Alabama Bigfoot conference, but let's talk about your conference. Let's talk about it, and then I'll put the flyer up.
It is the Women of the Paranormal celebration. It's in Harriman, Tennessee on March 23rd and March 24th. It will be held at Old Harriman Hospital, and across the street at Temperance Hall. We'll be investigating Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary on Saturday.
Awesome.
Sunday, we'll get to investigate the old hospital itself. And the big thing is that this is a fundraiser for domestic violence and sexual assault victims, survivors, and their families.
Yep.
So we'll be holding a raffle, a silent auction, and we'll be collecting non-perishable donations to donate to the Avalon Center. They actually take care of 7 shelters in the area.
Wow. Holy cow. I'm going to put the flyer up real quick. And Brandy and I, we're going to talk, we're her cryptid speakers that weekend. So we're going to talk some Bigfoot and Dogman. And yeah, so if you guys are in the area, anywhere around the Tennessee area, tickets are on sale now. And come and see all of us, because it's for a great cause for sure. And, you know, it's going to be a fun one. And what could be better? I mean, Brushy Mountain, hello. Right?
I know. And Harriman Hospital. Oh my goodness. Well,
Yeah.
you know, I heard you say that this is not just for women.
No, it's not.
Yes, men are more than welcome to join us. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be great to have them there, you know, because women are not the only ones that suffer abuse. So, so everybody out there, if you're thinking about going, go ahead. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who you are.
And I mean, vendors, we still have vendor tables open. I don't know why my phone's acting weird, but it keeps going dark. But I don't know. I need a new phone, I think. That's just an excuse. But we do have vendor tables available. We're looking for men, women, whoever would like to come be a vendor. Investigations are open to everybody. And the unique thing about this event is that we'll split into a group of women only. And we'll have a mixed group too. For both nights we investigate, because I've actually had women say they don't feel safe investigating with men. There was a gal a few years ago that I interviewed for a team lead position, and she had been grabbed by the guy who founded her team, and she quit right after that.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's a safe space. And that's what we wanted to make it, is a safe, non-judgmental space where you can ask your questions, you can share your experiences. And you know how it is in the cryptid field of, did you really see that? Did you really, is that really a Bigfoot, or is that really a dog man? I don't think so. And people will mock you. It's worse in the cryptid field than in the ghost hunting.
I agree. I wholeheartedy agree.
Yep. And you know, it's a safe space. Come share your experiences.
Awesome.
You know,
we look forward to it. So like I said, if anybody is in the Tennessee area, March 23rd and 24th, come over and see us. It's for a good cause. And you know, I've done events myself, you know, for battered women shelters and things like that. And as Jenn said, a lot of these women, you know, they have PTSD from, you know, be it physical abuse, sexual abuse, whatever. And, you know, when we did our event, we had a night where just the ladies from the shelter came, and
good idea.
You know, it was a safe space. So I get what you're saying. Not that we're against men or anybody's against men, because there are good men out there. However, you know, these women, they're not comfortable yet with a lot of men. And that's true.
And it's amazing the support that we've gotten from the men. And due to that support, the Men of the Paranormal Conference in September, which will be at Ashmore Estates, actually is men who support the women. It's all men speakers, open vendors just like this, but there will also have split groups too.
That's awesome. Very cool. Very
Oh,
cool.
I might have to go to that one. That one's not too far from me. That would be pretty cool.
What
Yeah.
day in September is that one?
29th.
29th. Okay.
21st, 29th. I can tell you. Hold on.
She just didn't think we were going to ask questions about that one.
21st.
The 21st.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
and
pretty cool
Ashmore
too.
Estates is an awesome place. We're actually holding an event there in May.
I just liked it.
Yeah.
Liked it.
We have been to I've been to Ashmore Estates a lot, and that's a crazy haunted location.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you.
I have been there.
This will be our first trip.
Oh, you won't be disappointed.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it.
And
I've probably been there upwards of 20 times.
I hope your person you have there is Terry. She's a good friend of ours.
Mm-hmm.
And she does she hosts a lot, she works a lot there at Ashmore for Robin Terry and helps with groups overnights and things like that. So I hope you get Terry. You won't be disappointed with her.
We should ask for her.
You should ask for Terry. No, that's true.
Yeah.
You should. You should.
Yeah, just ask for her. I'm pretty sure she doesn't. If she's free, she will probably do it because she loves that place. So
yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's a great location. You definitely won't be disappointed. Well, how did you get into all of this weirdness with,
like from the beginning?
Yeah, let's go all the way back.
That's a long ways back. Back to the 70s we shall go. No, I'm sorry. I'm only it's like the first anniversary of my 36th birthday this year.
I hear you.
So way back when I was like 3 or 4, and I had an experience. I looked out the window, and from what I've been told, it was an elemental spirit that was looking in my mom's bedroom window at me.
What did it look like?
It looked like a little tree with leaves, and it smiled and had eyes. That's the way I remember it. You have to consider I was 3 or 4. So,
Right.
I was sorry. Xander wants something to drink, and go get a cup. And we, from then on, like I've always been sensitive. My grandparents' house was haunted. Upstairs, and my grandma was like, well, I didn't know you were afraid to sleep up there. Yeah, that's why I didn't like to go up there.
Right.
And my cousin didn't like to sleep up there, and my aunt still laughs that she's like, imagine your bedroom being up there and have to go up there and sleep alone every night. No.
Yeah.
And then you guys will love this one. So in that same house, in that same time frame, I actually used to dream that Bigfoot was at the end of my bed.
That sounds nice.
Wow.
That was so strange. But yeah, it was vivid dreams. Like Bigfoot was standing at the end of my bed.
Wow. Were you scared in any of these? I mean, like with seeing the elemental and seeing the Bigfoot as a kid?
Not really. It just intrigued me more than anything. And then back then, no internet. I grew up in a small town, so they didn't have a whole lot of books on the unknown.
Sure.
But anything I could get my books on, anything I could get my hands on, I would read. Like poltergeist, ghost stories, the Bermuda Triangle, Bigfoot, anything like that.
Right. Very cool. Very cool. And then it just progressed as you got older, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And here we are today.
And here you are today. I hear you. We like I said, the paranormal, I think all of these realms, ghosts, Bigfoot, UFOs, I think they're all intertwined.
I do too.
I really do. And your conferences, Women of the Paranormal. However, the paranormal is a vast definition, it's a little bit of everything.
And that's why I like to tell people that a variety of feels. It's just not about ghost hunting. Just because we go there and we ghost hunt at night, I really don't feel like taking you out in the woods in the middle of the night and me not knowing the area.
Right. No, I hear you. So do you do private cases, or is it mainly just big locations?
I used to do private investigations, and we've kind of steered away from that because you hear all these crazy stories. And the liability, I don't want to deal with that, because I've had people say, do I have to leave my house? I'm like, oh, no. I don't want to be in your house alone for liability reasons.
Right.
But there are teams that make the owners leave.
I mean, we do sometimes, because if we think it might be an attachment or something, ask them to leave for a little bit, but we also, the teams that I've been on have also been insured, and, we always did background checks and things like that on our team members,
Oh yeah. I'd be afraid they would say we stole something because, people lie.
Yep. That's where the insurance comes in. And
the last guy we did a private investigation for, it was very odd. He said that he was seeing red eyes, which we figured out was his alarm clock, those old school alarm clocks with the red numbers.
Yeah.
And he kept seeing shadows walk between his apartment in front of his window. And what it was is that he had a street lamp across from him in the apartment complex. So there would be shadows where somebody walked between the window and that light.
Right.
And that wasn't really bad. But then he started calling us at like 2 and 3 in the morning and saying he was being attacked. And there would leave us, like, we would answer the phone and you would just hear screaming and it was a movie.
Wow.
And he would leave voicemails with that. And he would say somebody was attacking him and he would just scream. So that was the last residential we dealt with. I just kind of moved away from that.
Wow. Yep. I get that. There's, I don't know. I personally prefer to do the private cases because you never know what you're walking into. And I like not knowing. However, we do similar to what you do. We raise money for historical locations, for historical preservation, because, if we don't, then these places, they're no more. And that's our history. And I'm a history buff,
That's what Global Ghost Hunt does too.
Yeah. There's a lot of them out there now that do. And if anybody's interested, I just dropped the link to get, if anybody wants to get tickets for this event, I dropped the link in chat. So anyway, yeah, it's, I think what you're doing is good. And I, you can help people, even if it's one person,
I appreciate y'all coming.
Yeah. Well, we're excited. I'm honored you asked us. Yeah.
Well, Jenn, you were telling us a little story before we came on that was a little spicy.
Oh, yeah.
Has to do with the paranormal. And I got a big chuckle out of it because, this is something that I've not necessarily heard myself. And so it just amazed me in this story. Why don't you tell us a little about this spicy story?
So it was at Eloise up in Westland, Michigan, Eloise Asylum. And my friend Becky that I investigate with all the time, she was there, and her daughter, and my best friend was there, and we were doing the thing. And when we went in, it was still daylight, and I think this is what started it all, is that we were joking around about some equipment, and I was like, oh yeah, that looks like a sex toy. And we had the spirit box going, and you heard them laughing with us, and you heard a ha 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 ha. And so we went up later in the night, we went up on the floor, I don't remember which one it is, in the doctor's wing, and they had one spirit box going, and you heard a little bit of somebody getting busy.
Oh, wow.
And
I said adult activities.
Yeah. And we kind of looked at each other like, do you hear that? Do you hear that? Do you
Wow.
And so we turned another one on, and it was the same thing on both. And, we didn't have a recorder going.
Oh no.
We're like, wait, this just happened and none of us recorded that. Maybe that's a good thing. Ghost porn, you never know.
Yeah.
But we were just kind of shocked because we didn't expect that. And actually, Becky and I were still laughing about that. I talked to her last night and we were still laughing about that.
Wow. I've never heard of getting an EVP of anything or coming out on Ghost Box or anything like that.
But you could tell when they finished, and then it was just dead silent, and Becky left him a cigarette.
That's hilarious. That's funny.
Well, I have never had two spirit boxes going at the same time, receiving the same info at the same exact second.
It was
so
crazy.
for you to have two separate spirit boxes hearing the same thing simultaneously I cannot believe you didn't have a recorder going.
I think we were all just a little shocked at what we were hearing.
Right. I would have been too. I would have been like,
really?
Make sure there's not real people in here.
Are you?
Do y'all need a drink of water? Should I leave some water here? And that makes me think about what was happening in that time period, because it sounds like it was probably residual. That's what I'm taking it as, is residual.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't even know what to call that. What shenanigans were going on during that time frame. And I'm wondering if somebody was having a little bit of a love affair on that floor at some point, because you said it was the doctor's floor, correct?
Yeah, it was the doctor's quarters. It was crazy.
Yeah. They were hooking up with the doctor, it sounds like.
They were just getting
having a little hanky pinky.
Right.
They were doing more than the patients weren't keeping them busy enough, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Michelle
it's
says,
like
probably someone in the broom closet. That's funny.
It's Grey's Anatomy up in there, paranormal style.
Yeah. Well, Werewolf says maybe that's how they went out. Who knows?
I don't know.
It's really quiet.
That's funny.
At least they went out happy.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, with residual hauntings, you don't ever know what kind of has stuck. The little blip in time that is stuck there. So that's just amazing to me. I'm sorry, but I find that just as cute.
I mean, we still laugh about it. Like I said, we were laughing about it last night.
That's funny. I would laugh about that one too. That's good. That's a good. You know what though, Eloise? I've heard there's negative energy there.
We didn't encounter anything. Mm-hmm. So my youngest son's dad actually grew up just outside of Detroit.
Okay.
In Pontiac. Mm-hmm. And I've known about Eloise. My God, Ariana's 16, so we met when she was a year old. So 15 years I heard about it. Because best friend kept telling me about Eloise when we would go up there. I'm like, well, let's go check out. I am not going over there. I'm like, come on, let's go. And he's like, no, I will not go over there. And like, he's a big believer and he's into conspiracy theories and all this stuff and aliens. And so like him and I would just sit and talk about all this stuff, but he would never go. So he had been telling me about how violent it was and how they did the patients back then over there. And he said, that is one of the worst places in Michigan back then. And then as soon as it opened for investigations, I was like, I have to go. I had heard about it all these years.
Right. Well, our friend Bigfoot Michigan, Rob, lives up there too. And he's talked to Brandy and I, and we've actually kind of
about it.
Talked about maybe making a trip up there.
I'll go with you.
Yeah.
Well, it's and I lived there. That's where I was born and raised there. So yeah, so it's just like I've heard the stories. I grew up in Flint. So yeah, I've heard the stories, but I never went. And to answer William's question, I do believe it was a residual.
Yeah, I answered it.
I do too.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I've heard about it, and then I never went, and then I'm like, now it's this big thing because when I was young, it was talked about, but no, it wasn't open for ghost hunt. The ghost investigations were just kind of they weren't happening. So now I'm kind of like, dang, now I want to go back. So Chris and I are like, maybe.
So they have the cemetery there, but you have it's about a block away, and you have to turn down this dead end street, and you can't even tell it's a cemetery. It's all in a chain link fence, and it's all overgrown. They don't keep it clean. They don't take care of it. But of course, there's no headstones. They're in the ground, but you can't see anything. It just looks like an empty lot.
Yeah.
That's
sad.
sad.
Yeah, very sad.
Did you ever hear of Clinton Valley something CVC over in Pontiac? A big asylum over there? My son's dad lived across the street from it.
Wow.
And I've looked it up, and I was like, oh, why didn't I know you back then? Because I sure would like to go over there and check it out. It was huge. And he would tell me in the mornings about 4 or 5 in the morning, there would be fog rolling, and there would be some kind of big dogs out there roaming around. And now that we're older and we've researched this, he's wondering if it wasn't dogmen.
Yeah.
Because they were huge. He said it wasn't a normal sized dog.
Wow. We have lots of people up in that area, and there are a lot of dogman encounters up there.
Oh, there's some here too.
So it very well could be, could be a dogman.
Well, yeah, especially I've heard a lot of stories on the west side, the west of Detroit, in that bottom half of Michigan. And I've heard a lot of stories out there, Bigfoot and dogmen alike. So, I've been hearing Bigfoot stories, all through my childhood up there. I mean, I don't know how many times I've heard, watch out, the booger man's going to get you. Not the boogie, the booger man.
My grandma used to tell me that.
Yeah.
What state are you in, Jen?
I am in northern Indiana. Okay. I'm 20 minutes from the Michigan line, so that's why I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But we have a family of dogmen that migrate here in May and in October.
Oh wow.
Okay. And when I lived in Fort Wayne, I saw one where I lived at, and then I met Jody, and he was like, oh yeah, there was a dogman encounter out on Till Road. And I'm like, Till Road is where Till Road, my apartment when I was in my 20s.
Wow.
I was like, oh Lord. And then where I lived at when I had the kids later was within a couple of miles of Till Road. Right. And there's been a few, somebody asked northwest or northeast. I live in northeast. I'm about 20 minutes from Michigan and about an hour from the state line of Ohio. It takes me to get to Cedar Point, it takes me about 3.5 hours.
Okay.
And I live about 40 minutes east of South Bend, where Notre Dame is. So
very cool. Very cool.
Yes.
Let's talk about some of the other places that you've investigated, because I'm all about that.
Oh, wow. My favorite place in Indiana, and you can't get in there anymore. It's actually a really small jail. It's the old Kosciuszko County Jail in Warsaw. That place is so fantastic. We would go there 2 and 3 times a year. The sisters that ran it, the one gal passed away, and her sister tried to keep it up, and now she's decided she can't do it. And It's just one of the most amazing places. And like, there's a girl there that she met this guy. They wrote bad checks. I can't remember her name. I'll try to remember it.
Mm-hmm.
But she wrote bad checks. So she wrote her boyfriend checks and signed them. It was on her dad's account. So he put her in jail to teach her a lesson. And the boyfriend was in jail. And he ended up getting out. And she was still helping at the jail. And she went to the outhouse and he shot her behind the jail and killed her.
Gosh.
She's still there. She was like 21, 22.
Wow.
And my friend Tamala and her nephew were with me. And you could see this hand trying to touch Damien. And like, he's like, did you try to touch me? And she's like, no, why? And we all saw this hand, like, reach for his hair. And we would ask if she thought Damien was cute. And she would answer yes with the flashlights.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a gentleman there. And this is actually, I think it's on my old YouTube channel. Or it's on my Eclipse Paranormal Facebook page one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we used an SLS and we were watching this cell door. And the one girl says it looks like somebody's swinging or hanging there. Sure enough, this guy had hung himself. His daughter accused him of molesting her and lied about it. And after he died, she told the truth. And he actually, one of the other ladies I investigate with, Yuta, she's really pretty and she has her makeup done, her hair done, and she's from Germany. And she's the only one he will communicate with.
Wow.
I said, do you think Yuta's pretty? And everything lit up.
Wow.
And we would ask questions, nothing. She would ask it, get all kinds of answers. There's a black guy named Pete that was hung. They drug him out and hung him there. And when I go, he actually follows me around and will communicate. And we had an event with the sisters over Halloween. Oh, it's been like 6 years ago. And they asked Pete, they said, Pete, are you standing close to Jenn? Everything lit up for him.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite place in Indiana. And then we went to Randolph County Asylum. We're actually going back there
I've been there. It's a great place.
They're actually holding an event on April 8th. We're going to go to, Becky and I are going to, for the eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
So why not have Eclipse Paranormal at the solar eclipse investigation?
Right.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
And we're going to go see what happens there.
Have you been there?
Oh, yeah. We've
Yeah.
been there twice.
What do you think of the spiders in the basement?
Nothing. Like,
That's my one fear. I can do snakes, but I don't do spiders. And when I went down there, they were like wolf spiders all over the walls down there.
wow.
Oh,
I haven't seen those.
Yeah. And this,
I don't do
No.
snakes.
no. So I literally, I was done with the basement. Get me out of here.
you're like, I'm done.
Because of the spiders,
done.
not because of the dead.
Yeah, we just went there in November for the second time.
We went there in like, it was warmer. Maybe it was like May or something.
First time we went was in July for my birthday a few years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we went in November and I took my daughter and her girlfriend and they like did the tour and then they're like, hey, we're going to go blow up the air mattress and watch our iPad. Okay. And they were fine. And the next morning they got up and we're like, are you guys ready to go? Ariana says, can we investigate just the four of us? Because it was me, Becky, her, and Emma. And so we investigated with them. And I said, well, why didn't you investigate last night? She's like, I just don't feel comfortable with people I don't know, which can be understandable. But she did an Estes method in there. And then we went to the basement and Emma saw Tall Paul cross from where he stands at that door into, the storage room where they had the bodies at one time.
Yep. Wow.
So like Becky and it's really weird because Becky and I were standing at that door where he's supposed to stand and that he slammed shut.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just like looking around and talking about him. And they went ahead and went down to the end of the hall where the kitchen's at. And we walked in there and Ariana says, tell her what happened. Tell her what you saw. And she's like, no.
Mm-hmm.
And Ariana told me. I was like, oh, I said, now that's really weird because we were talking about him and she saw him cross the hall.
Wow. Wow. Very cool. It's a really cool building. It really is. So when we went there, we have a friend of ours that has very, very good abilities, and he went with us. And before that, he was walking outside on the grounds, and he's like, I'm telling you, there's bodies out here.
Oh, yeah.
There are bodies out here. Well, they didn't know that at the time. And then that's when they brought in the ground detecting,
Mm-hmm.
and they found all the bodies that's out there because of him.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago then.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was back in 17 or 18, something like that.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Yep. It was pretty crazy. And he kept saying, there's bodies out here. There's a bunch of them. And he, was kind of walking around and like, whoa, and then they brought, the people out there to detect that. And sure enough.
I do. I like investigating there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dan has the other locations too. I've investigated all of his locations except the Stone Mansion and the church he just acquired.
Gotcha.
The Jim Jones Church.
Really? He's got the Jim Jones Church.
Yeah. Yep. It's
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Brandy and I had talked about that. Who was it? We watched a show, Brandy, that they investigated that.
Yeah, it was the documentary on Jim Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we also, if you remember in Michigan, we talked to somebody, and I can't remember his name, but he gave us his cards when we were in Michigan.
That's right.
And he was talking about that they had just then acquired it and didn't even have that church open yet.
Oh, wow. See, you must have talked to him. I
don't remember where it's at. I can look. It's where's that? Potter, Indiana.
Huh.
I was just looking at it. It's down there by Muncie and Hartford City. It's down in that area because he's from Indy.
Yeah, when we stayed up there at Randolph, we actually stayed in Muncie.
Oh, did you?
An Airbnb? Yeah.
Well, we spent the night at the asylum, and so Ariana Emma had like the room with the carpet, like by the bathroom, and the people that were with us had the room with all the beds. You can't hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Brandy's service kind of is in and out. She'll be back.
Yeah, that did it when we were talking that one night too.
Yeah.
But we stayed in the room that has the balcony on it.
Mm-hmm.
And Becky didn't wake me up and tell me this. She told me after I woke up. She said about 6 a.m, she heard these really heavy steps coming across from the asylum part across that landing and stopped right in front of our door.
Wow.
I said, did you open it? She said, no, I didn't want to know what was out there.
Right. No, I don't blame her.
She said you could feel the floor vibrate. It was heavy enough.
Wow. That's creepy. We didn't spend the night. We stayed pretty late, but some people did. Some of our teammates did. But I like showers and normal bathrooms and sleeping, uninterrupted. So we rented the Airbnb.
I get it. Oh, believe me, I get it.
Yeah. So it was a good time though. It's a great place. If anybody's out there, Randolph is definitely a good place to go for sure.
Yeah, we've got other places. We've investigated all those. I'm looking to see where it's at.
Okay.
Potter.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Portland. Okay.
That's it.
Very cool. That would be a good place to check out. I'd like to.
It's just
the
a
Jim Jones Church.
Little tiny church.
Yeah. But I hear it's very haunted.
That's what I was going to say. It is. That's what I've heard too.
Yeah. Brandy and I did a show on Jim Jones, and man, I could see where, if not, I could see where there could be residual energy there from him. He was a crazy man.
Oh yeah. And he just got worse as he got older. and he got deeper into the cult, trying to be a cult leader.
Right. Yeah, he just very, very scary. So I can see where like the residual of him, in the
I could
stuff
too.
there. But didn't he go to that church as a kid though?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they say church is really haunted.
Yeah, that's what they say. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Have you been to like Gettysburg or anything like that?
I've only been to Gettysburg on senior trips and in 8th grade.
Uh-huh.
I haven't investigated there.
Yeah.
That's on our to-do list. But we went there. My favorite place is Ohio State Reformatory.
Brandy just went there at the end of last year.
Oh, I love that place.
Wow.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, that would be.
And what did you? There's a place over there called Landau's Mohican Castle. It's about 30 minutes outside of Mansfield. You guys should check that out too. It was the guy, actually, the owner had a Bigfoot encounter out there. It's been documented and is on some show on TV.
Wow.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. There's been several sightings over in that area by Mansfield. I mean, once you start digging into it, it is unbelievable. And of course, some of our friends at Small Town Monsters are located around there, so that makes sense.
So I held the women's retreat there the first time I had it. We went out to Malabar Farm. There was a big behind my truck. We were sitting in the parking lot, and I'm looking out the window, and we're in the visitor center parking lot looking at the big house, which is like, and you see something going back and forth between the house and the woods, and back again and back again. And my uncle's family's property backs up to Malabar Farms. They have 200 acres off of a road out there.
Wow.
My son has encountered Bigfoot out there.
Oh, I believe it. Now,
I'm like, yeah, I live out there.
I don't know what happened. I had my earphones in. All of a sudden, I heard a buzzing, and then everything quit on me. So I had to back out and reboot and come back in. But I did hear you talk about. Did you go to Indiana State Sanitarium by any chance?
I haven't been there yet. I haven't been to that one. Have you been?
Yeah, I have been, and because we were talking about spiders and the nope ropes, and for me, for Indiana State would have been the bats. The bats were the thing that really got on my nerves. Don't like those either, and I was just wondering if you'd been there for that, because there's no escaping them. As night comes on, they come up from the basement, and then they just hit floor to floor to floor until they hit the very top of the buildings. And I was just wondering if you had the excitement that I did there. But I mean, the place is absolutely fantastic. If you can do it, I would just do it in cooler months, when the bats aren't so active.
Yeah, they swooped at us at Ohio State too, at OSR.
Yeah. No, I didn't. Now it was cold, but it was cold when I went, because I went the end of November, so it was very cold in Ohio. So we didn't have any problems with anything. There wasn't nothing moving, not a mouse, nothing was moving.
They're really bad and solitary, and upstairs in the warden's area, his home, is where we had them swoop at us. But
let's talk a little bit about like equipment and things that when you go to these locations, what do you use, Jen?
A lot of times anymore, I don't use a whole lot other than myself.
I'm with you. I'm like that too.
And once in a while, I'll pull out the dowsing rods just to see what I get. I haven't used a pendulum in a long time.
Yeah.
And we use the spirit box. We do the Estes method. And I'm trying to think.
That's actually my favorite.
Mine too.
I love the Estes method for sure. For sure. You got a quick question here real quick from Hawk. He said, Jen, have you ever researched Potato Creek State Park for dogmen?
Well, you're more than welcome to come to my conference I'm holding in June there. Not in there at the park, but they won't let me have it there. But in North Liberty.
Wow.
It's June 20. That's why I have my dates mixed up. That's June 29th, and the men's event is the 21st of September. See, I knew I had something on the 29th, but it'll be at the North Liberty Community Center. And,
Awesome.
and I actually, one of the guys I work with, he came into work one day and he's like, I need to talk to you later. And I was like, okay. He goes, so I was driving on my way home and I drove by there and there was something that walked out and just in the middle of the road. And I was like, what was it? He goes, it looked really shaggy and malnourished. And I didn't want to stop and go back.
And
And so it was over there by the park.
Wow. That's crazy. Yep. That is crazy.
So what, where do you get your equipment from?
I was just put that question up. Where do you get the equipment online?
Where do you get it from?
A lot of times Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite places.
Yep.
Also, I mean, they offer your basics. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
also, I was going to say, we've bought equipment from Ghost Stop as well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and one place that people overlook, and they do have things that I do like, is the Attic Junkie. The Attic Junkie has very good prices, and like I said, some of the things I like, some I don't. But you know, I mean, if you're just starting out, I would start off real cheap. And Attic Junkie is a pretty good one.
I found K2s on Temu.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. That does make sense because the ones on Amazon, a lot of them are from China. So that makes sense.
And I was like, oh, it's a Temu K2. It's a Temu 2. Can't guarantee it works like the regular ones, but hey.
Right. All I can say is that on Amazon, I did get one that was made in China, and I got one made in the United States, and I have better luck, and it works more accurate with the one made in the United States versus the one made overseas. So just to keep that in mind. Yeah. But really, I mean, if you're just starting out, just get you something cheap. Dowsing rods, I would say. What's the thing that you use that doesn't cost a lot of money?
I use pendulums and the dowsing rods. That's the cheapest thing I've got.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go get like a $15, $20 recorder too.
Yep. You know, Paranormal Paul says, you can use the voice things on your phone as well.
Yep.
I see. I'm not a fan of those, only because you talk around your phone, you talk on your phone. So to me, I think you can get false positives, because if you're talking about cousin Cindy who passed away, and then you go to a ghost hunt that night, and then cousin Cindy comes through when you had just talked about her on the phone. So I don't know. I'm real weird with the ghost apps on.
You're right. And I'm going to say this about it, because it's kind of happened to me, because I've was talking about getting some shoes, a particular brand of shoes, and I kind of Googled them. Well, the next thing you know, Facebook and every other platform out there that has ads started playing these ads for the specific thing that I was just talking about. So I don't really trust my phone as much. My audio and all that is done separately. Now I will do my videos on there. I will video on my phone. Yeah. That's not a problem with me. Yeah. But when you start getting into those apps and things, if you have to,
personal opinion, I know people who use them and like them. I mean, it's all a mystery. We don't know if any of this equipment is true. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, I just think if you have to give your permission. If you have to give your permission to use the mic for these apps, then that's an absolute no.
Right. Real quick, Hawk
Mhm.
If you need Jen's contact information, I can get you her email and all that good stuff. He said he's going to contact you on Facebook about that conference.
That sounds good.
So,
Yeah. And he's more than welcome to follow the NADP pages too.
Yeah.
Because I did run the Indiana chapter. I got promoted to regional director now. But
Awesome.
Oh, nice.
nobody's replaced me, so I guess I still run it. So yeah,
Right.
I just put the promo out there that it's by me. Oh, hi. Okay, I know who you are. Yeah, he can text me.
Okay.
He just texted me and said, it's me. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
He's a good guy. Yep.
Yeah, he is. It's funny because I didn't know him when I lived out before. And he's like, oh, I live out here. I'm like, that's so weird. I never had met him before until I moved. But yeah, I've got it listed as an NADP event and my team. So, and
Very
includes paranormal. So,
Very cool. There's some more questions here, and let's just answer some of these. Lakota Angel says, what do you wear when you go investigating, ladies? I'd carry a large hunting knife too, bear spray. What do you guys use?
if you're going out in the woods, I'm guessing he's talking about.
Probably, I would say. If you're taking bear spray, yeah.
Well, sometimes I feel like I need it at haunted locations too. Especially for the bats.
Right.
And the spiders and the snakes. I make sure to wear a hooded jacket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And cover your head. Absolutely.
And long pants and boots, because I don't like snakes and I don't want anything trying to bite me.
Right. I agree with that. Brandy, what do you wear?
I really can't say, but I'm just going to tell you that I go well protected. So
Yes.
We're just going to leave it at that. I just go protected.
Yep.
Depending on the laws and restrictions in the area, I go by that usually, but I am well protected otherwise. Yeah. We have hit the 52-minute mark. So let's go ahead and take a 10-second pause. And that way we can take a pause for the cause and then we'll move on. All right. Ready?
10-9-8-7-6-5-4-3-2-1, go.
Go. All right. We're ready. Let's do it.
Insert commercial.
Insert commercial. So for anybody out there who doesn't understand what we're talking about, we are located on KPNL Radio, which is Lady Ann Selene's radio station. She's located on the internet. We're also on Odysy radio station. We're on Spreaker, Audible, Spotify, anywhere else that you can find podcasts, you can find us. So that's why we insert for ads. Okay.
That's the whole point of that. Anyway, okay. So this is a good question. And I know I've talked about this before. I want to get Jen's opinion on it. It says, interesting something. How do you guys feel about the flashlight on and off thing?
I can't ever get mine to work right, so I don't like it.
We don't either.
I don't like them only because it's too easy to falsify them. With people, unscrewing the ends and then setting them down. You can barely move a table and it lights up. Well, you just asked a question, are you in here? Light it up, and you just move the table, However, if you get a flashlight, a touch flashlight, those are legit. Where they actually have to touch and push. Those are good ones. And you don't unscrew anything. You don't tamper with it. Nothing. Those are the legit ones for me. So you and I are on the same page.
I can never get it to work. It either keeps lighting up or it won't light up at all.
Yep.
So I just gave up and was like, I won't even try this again.
Yeah. I mean, I've been on investigations where people have brought them, but I just don't believe they're, legit. So,
and even like the slightest vibration, when we were investigating at OSR in the solitary confinement, there was a gentleman there that had it sitting on the step. You know, those are metal steps.
Mm-hmm.
But there was people upstairs, so they could have been walking. And even, I mean, you might not have heard or seen those stairs move, but even that little slight movement from them walking on that metal grate upstairs could move that whole thing.
Absolutely, they do. You know it. Let's see. I'm just trying to read through chat too, and more questions keep coming in. Do you ever use body cams like GoPros?
I actually just bought 2.
Awesome.
I got them at Menards over Christmas for like $10 each. And I said, Becky, I bought us each one. We got to test them out. They're like little tiny square things, just like little.
Mm-hmm.
So check Menards. There we go. We'll get you a Menards sponsor now.
There you go. Yeah. We actually don't really use the GoPros when we go out, but yeah.
I do have a body cam though.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You know, this is an interesting question. Spooktator Bob asked. He says, what about caving and ghost hunting? Anyone know anything about underwater ghosts? Any scuba divers out there got any stories about ghostly experiences? What do you guys think about that?
I mean, they say they're ghosts down there at the Titanic.
Yep.
I have a good story for you, though. A ghost one about a pirate.
Let's hear it.
It's Blackbeard. So years ago, like 20 years ago, I was friends with this girl, and she enlisted as a Marine. She was stationed at Camp Lejeune, and her mom lived in Beaufort down there. And her mom's wife at the time was a carpenter and worked on Blackbeard's house. And where he bled, they took the wood up, put wood down again, fresh new wood, and the blood stain came back.
Oh, that's creepy weird.
I was like,
that is weird.
That's kind of crazy, but that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, that is cool. That is cool. You know, there's a place, and I can't think of where it is. My mind is blank tonight. I'm super tired, and that's why I can't think right tonight. But there is a place. There's a lake, and I can't even remember what state it's in. But it's been known to people go in there, and then you get pulled down, and people have drowned in there. And they say it's an Indian lady that is pulling people down.
There's one in Georgia too. I've heard that too, and I don't remember where it's at. But there's what's the lake in Georgia that covered that town that they always have bad luck at? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what one you're talking about. Yes, I think Ghost Adventures did a show there.
We got to go back to Google again.
Yeah.
This is why I brought my laptop. I can't do StreamYard on my laptop; it'll freeze. So I have to buy myself a new laptop.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's just a lot of different things, you know, as far as ghosts out there, even in our waters, you know, people have boating accidents, people drown, you know, why wouldn't there be ghosts in the water?
Lake Rainier.
I don't know.
Lake Rainier.
I don't know.
Yep.
As I was typing it, I was like, wait a minute.
It hit you, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I can't imagine even, you know, in lakes and stuff. I mean, up in Michigan, of course, Jen, you'll agree with me here about Lake Superior, that it is so large that ships use it to, you know, to run goods across there. And there's so many shipwrecks in this lake that I can't imagine why it wouldn't be haunted.
Well, yeah, because there's all those wrecks there in the Great Lake. Like, what's the one that went down? They wrote that song about Ella Fitzgerald.
Something like that. Yeah.
That one. And then I just saw something the other day where they showed another wreck, and there's videos of them flying over one of the Great Lakes, and you look down and you can see shipwrecks.
Wow.
So I agree with you. Yeah, those lakes are crazy.
Yeah. William says, according to the Bible, it says in Revelations that the sea will give up its dead.
Oh, I bet that, you know, that is something that I have not done.
Here, Spooktator Bob says the wreck of Edmund Fitzgerald.
And I said Ella
There you go.
Fitzgerald.
There we go.
You were close. I knew the Fitzgerald part. I just,
Wait, no, Ella Fitzgerald is a singer. Never mind.
Yes. Yes, she was. Let's see here. I don't know. It's just there's just crazy things in our water because there's a lot of I mean, look at the giant squids and megalodons and things like that.
Yeah. And they still haven't discovered, I think, a lot of things that are down there, things that are just creepy.
So do you think megalodons still exist?
I do.
I do too.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do. They have plenty of room to swim.
Mm-hmm.
And
remain unseen.
Xander's in there singing and rapping. I don't know if you can hear him.
As long as it's not that bad kind of rap.
Yeah.
He's on his PlayStation. I think he's rapping with the kids he's playing Fortnite with. But
yeah.
But he made me forget what I was going to say. Do you remember they have videos of being undersea and they see these big, huge shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And then where they have, I don't remember what it was, but the Mariana Trench, and there was that shark, and all of a sudden it just disappeared and just went deeper. So what took it deeper?
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly. What do you guys think about mermaids? Somebody in chat asked about that. Do you guys believe in mermaids?
I'm on the fence.
Well, I saw Bigfoot. I guess there should be mermaids. There's stories about it.
What do you think they look like? Do you think they're portrayed like they are, Ariel? Or do you think they're just some ugly looking fish that gets mistaken for a mermaid?
Anything can exist. Who am I to say it doesn't?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I believe there is some truth to all the stories. I mean, there's tons of stories about mermaids, but I don't think they're this beautiful, glamorous, half human, half fish thing that that fairy tales and all that have made us believe. I think they're kind of maybe more of a hideous type looking creature.
Mm-hmm. And there's so many, like we were just saying, so many undiscovered species of fish. Yes, they've caught videos of this mermaid looking thing sitting on a rock. I've seen that video.
Me too.
However, there's fish you can go down to the pet store and buy, and I think they're called like dogfish or something. And you can take it out of water for a few minutes and put it back in, and it's fine. So, I mean, I think it could be a fish that's mistaken, possibly.
Yeah, I don't think it's the half human, half fish thing. I do think it's I think it's a ugly looking fish. I mean, it seems like all the time they're running across new species in the ocean. I mean, check out that one fish with the little light over its head. I mean, it's just,
yeah.
Well, I mean,
Bristol has the best one, like Daryl Hannah's version.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't think
that. Unfortunately, no.
Right.
Well, that leads me to this question. So, they made all these dogmen characters look like what people see, like in Van Helsing, and then the aliens and things. So, where do they get all this information if somebody hasn't seen all this stuff?
Right.
Make all these movies. Yeah. We sit and discuss this at home sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
they have to come from somewhere.
Yeah. So
right.
Do they know something we don't know? Because, they don't tell us everything.
Right. They don't. Absolutely.
So how do they make these movies so accurate and then people start seeing these things?
Right. No,
yeah.
I really believe that.
I mean, the stories of werewolves have been around for ever.
Mhm.
And I don't know, because the dogman term is
Mhm.
basically it's very new, and I've always known them as werewolves.
Yep.
So if like you said, if nobody has ever seen them, then they wouldn't be looking just like what we're seeing today.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
P. Jean says, I think the movies get input from the agencies. I would agree.
I do too.
I would agree.
Yep, for sure.
The three-lettered agencies know a little more than they give, but
Right. Yep. Did you see Werewolf's comment here about the mermaids? So do you romance them or fry them up?
I don't think I get close
I
enough
throw them
anyway.
back.
Yep, throw them back.
Just throw them back.
Not a keeper.
Not a keeper. Don't keep any of those.
No, for sure not. But have you, Jen, ever had any like UFO or seen anything like that?
I have once in my lifetime. I was at Revenant Acres. Oh, this was years ago. It's shut down now.
Mm-hmm.
But first time I went, we were standing outside. And have you been there to Revenant Acres? So the house was behind me, and it's surrounded on cornfields on 3 sides. And the front of the house opens up, and it's on a highway. It's on a 4-lane highway. And I was just standing there, and like across the cornfield, like 2 acres, probably at least, there's a little wooded area and a house. And I just happened to look up, and there was this bright white ball of light that zoomed over top of that house and disappeared when it hit those woods.
Oh, wow.
I said, did anybody else see that? And they're like, see what? I'm like, you didn't see that bright ball of light that just went over us? And they're like, no. I was like, seriously? But it was the craziest thing.
Mm-hmm.
It just came from behind that house, just straight over there, and just poof, no more.
Wow.
And then I text Jody Cook. I said, was there any sightings around Indianapolis of UFOs?
Mm-hmm.
And he said there had been reports that night.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, yay. I think I just saw one.
That's really cool. Very cool.
I've not seen anything since, but.
My cousin just posted a video on Facebook, and I personally believe that it's a bug. However, they said, they said UFO in the night sky, and I'm like looking at it, and it looks like it goes under, like they have an awning, just the very tip of it, So I commented, no UFO, bug.
Bug.
Yeah.
Bug. Did you send them the chart of the bugs?
No.
We have a chart of bugs.
And speaking of that chart, so tomorrow night, if you guys tune in over 9 p.m. Central to Paranormal Paul's channel, Paranormal Among Us, I'll be on there, and we're going to talk about some of that, our chart, Brandy.
Yeah, talk about our chart. And like I said, if I am awake, which I am, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee, but I'll be there in chat if I'm awake. I doubt it, but we're going to try.
Yeah. What do you think about orbs and, the pictures and stuff? What are your beliefs about a true orb?
I really enjoy all those orbs in a dirty place, like a dirty, dusty place. I really enjoy those. Do you see all these orbs I captured?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. That's really haunted. You need to leave and never go out investigating again. Or you're out in the rain. Oh my God, there's orbs out here. No,
right.
There's not.
Right.
But
tomorrow night, I'll be on his show, and we'll be talking more about that and my opinions on them, because Brandy and I have some charts, and some of these pictures on there, they look like fairies and everything else. So I could see where people could mistake, some of these things.
Yeah.
Bug, rain, as you just stated, things like that, dust,
I have some that you can see the streaks in motion.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, when I look for orbs, it has to have that, or
Yeah.
it has to be super bright,
Mm-hmm.
but it has to be, you can see it moving.
Yep.
Like, just,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I have some nice pictures of movement.
Yeah. I compare it to like them having a tail.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of reminds me of a comet.
Yeah.
When it has that tail. Yep.
Yep.
That's what mine looks like.
Yeah. And you know, that's the thing too. And like I said, we're not knocking anybody's pictures on here or anything, but Jenn's been doing the paranormal so long. Brandy has, I have, you know, we've kind of learned to really like figure out what a true orb is, what we believe, because it's not only your picture, it's what's going on around you and what your body's telling you, and you know, things like that. So it's there's a lot more to it than just an orb.
My friend Cindy has a really good one from RCA, from Randolph County.
Mm-hmm.
When that old wheelchair used to be sitting on the landing, and she has a picture of it. Then there's this white like streak of stuff in the next one, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Right there where that wheelchair's at. And she's like, oh, look what I got.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, it's just, you know, a lot of people, I see a lot of dust pictures, and I just scroll through them. I don't comment one way or the other, you know.
People just don't understand. I mean, of course, you know, especially in older locations, it's just dusty.
Oh, yeah.
But you got to think about this. In your home, if you have carpet that has been in there for any length of time, it's collecting that. Your pillows laying around are collecting that. I mean, that's why we have to dust all the time, because it's just everywhere.
Yeah.
And sometimes just moving around on your carpet can create
where it looks like
dust
you have
orbs.
100 ghosts in your house. But
Yeah. And it's like, your house is dirty. It's just carpet fibers, you know, well, and then your skin from your body. It's just, there's nothing you can do about it. It's still going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
But do I believe there's true orbs? Yes. Yes. Because there is some type of energy manifestation that creates some type of orb that I have seen.
Yeah. Yep. Have you, Jen, ever done any events? I have, where somebody run out scared. Have you ever had that?
Oh. If you watch our global ghost hunt video from Collingwood Art Center, you'll see it.
Okay.
We were at Collingwood Art Center over in Toledo, and we're supposed to dust. You don't have to. That's optional.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that's funny.
Nelly.
Yep. Nellie's in there. Hello, Nellie. No,
But,
we
yeah, it was crazy. Like I said, my best friend Cindy, her daughter and her went with us. It was a public investigation. Becky was there. They were there. Our other team member, Donna, was there. And then a bunch of people from the public. And I'm trying to read that. 15 minutes. They took off tours. Oh, yeah, I've heard. They actually had some up here back in the early 90s that had red lights up here. And I missed them. I don't know where I was at. But in that video, it used to be a convent, and then they turned it into a school. They actually have like a area for nun cells. They call them cells. And there's a pentagram painted on the floor in the basement. And then upstairs, there's a crudely drawn pentagram, then this picture that reminds me of Shrek with horns, and then a triangle. And my friend Catherine, that is in our group chat, that's from Greece, that'll be at the women's event. She was doing a live with us, and she said the triangle traps the 7 demons from that pentagram. So it's really important to know this. So we're in the house section. They had a house, and they built that convent and school onto it. And we're in the house upstairs. And I'm under doing the Estes method, and they pulled me out. You can see them pull me out in the video. And Cindy's daughter, Katie, was just sitting there rocking, and she starts losing her shit. And she starts screaming, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Quit fucking touching me.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, nobody's touching you. She's like, quit yelling at me. And we're like, we're not yelling at you.
Right.
Something was trying to attach itself to her. So we got her downstairs, and she said, I was trying to, she goes, they told me if you go ahead of me, if I go ahead of you, you're going to push me down the stairs. I'm like, okay, I'll go first then. And she didn't want to move. And when we got down to the bottom, you hear Becky say, go, 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 go. Somebody's running up behind me. And it's a wood floor. And a woman actually years ago was pushed down those steps and killed.
Mm-hmm.
And
wow.
That's pretty scary.
And when we tried to get her to the basement to go outside, it took me 2 hours to get her cleansed and grounded. And she stopped from going down the basement steps again and said, don't you see that big black guy there? And I'm like, what? She's like, no, it's a big black mass shaped like a man.
Oh, wow.
And that scared me for her.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I told her, I said, you're never stepping foot in there again. I said, and then we were supposed to went to the Hinsdale house. And I told her, I said, you're not going to the Hinsdale house either. I said, there's no way.
Yeah. Have you been to the Hinsdale house?
We went to the Hinsdale house for our second global ghost hunt back in October. Yep.
You want to talk a little bit about that? Daniel Class is awesome. We talked to him at one conference we went to, and we'd like to make it up there, but New York is just so far for us.
It's a drive.
It is
too. I'll let you guys know that Tracy, I don't know if you know who she is. She was in the women's chat too.
Mm-hmm.
That's the nurse out in Illinois. She's actually holding a domestic violence event up there at the Hinsdale house, August 20th, 24th.
wow.
Let me look. August 24th. So she's doing one too. And that's actually how we met. But the Hinsdale house, the property has a lot of attachments.
Yeah.
One of the ladies came. She had a wonderful experience. She had her hair up in a ponytail.
Mm-hmm.
And she couldn't go up the hill to the giving tree. So she sat down by the fire by herself, waiting on us. And we came back down. We're like, so how is everything? Are you okay? She goes, yeah. She goes, the man told me to take my hair down, the man in the fire. We're like, what man in the fire? She said, there was a man that spoke to me from the fire, and he told me to take my hair down. Squaws do not wear their hair up. And she said the reflection on the back of the Hinsdale house, she said he was in full Indian dress, like Native American, tribal, like the headdress and everything. She said she could see that in his shadow on the back of the house.
Yeah.
He had a great experience.
Wow. For those of you that don't know about the Hinsdale house, it is in New York. It's super, super haunted. And they believe it's more on a demonic side. Would you agree to that? Or
when we were there this time, we didn't have anything bad happen. But I did find out that it wasn't really the people there that were possessed. It was more the house. And the house itself and the ground has been exorcised twice. And they said the one time that they exorcised the house, that the house shook, and there were loud booms coming from it, and you could hear it outside.
Wow.
And we were told that the Native Americans, when they had to leave the ground, had cursed it.
Wow.
I can't tell you there's no cell phone service out there, which is like the creepiest thing ever.
Yeah, because I've heard it's like out in the middle of nowhere, and like I said, we've talked to Daniel Class, and we've talked about it. It's just, man, New York's just so far from Missouri.
It is.
Right. Well, do you think, because you said that the property and the land has been exorcised twice, so they did this major cleansing with exorcism, blah blah blah. But do you think that because it is a Native American curse, that an exorcism is not going to take away what the problem is? Do you think that that's true?
It didn't take it away. Either.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
There's
You know, because that's two different belief systems that you're dealing with.
Agreed.
Yeah, they even said that way back when, that there was a stagecoach line that ran along that property, and two brothers, I didn't know this till I went there, that two brothers would tell them there was an inn over at the barn they had there and rob the people and kill them and bury their bodies on the property.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't know that until I went. I hadn't heard that one.
I didn't either.
And yeah, it's we're going back.
She's like, we're going back.
And you know, my daughter used to investigate once in a while with me, not in like bad places, but she would go on these little places and show kids how to use the equipment and stuff. And she actually was our videographer that night. Her and Emma went with me, and I was very happy nothing happened. And Tiffany was so great. Like, they have the TV there at the house in the living room. She put it in the bedroom for them, and she hung them a sheet up for like a door so they feel safe and not exposed while they stay in the house. And these girls slept like babies in that house.
Wow.
And they did at Randolph County too. And grown people won't even stay there. They're like, no, something might attach themselves to me in my sleep. I might get touched in my sleep, you know. And I'm like, I have my daughter and her girlfriend there.
Right.
I've taken, you know, my daughter, she's 13. Brandy's taken her daughter, who's also 13. And, you know, it's just certain places, you know, I'll never take them to a place I've never been to. You know what I'm saying? I got to figure it out and, you know, that kind of thing. So Ashmore is a good place. If your daughter wants to go there, Ashmore is a great place.
That's a wonderful place. Yes. Wonderful.
Yeah. She used to, you know, we do like little meet and greets, and she would go, and there'd be like at libraries and things, and kids would come in and she'd show them how to use the equipment. And she used to do little investigations like libraries, and she'd go out if we did a cemetery, which I really don't like to do, and little things like that, but not very many locations would let a young kid in. A lot of them now want them to be at least 18. There's a few still like 16. Yeah. But we would allow kids 13 and older, but have to be accompanied with a parent. Yep, I do too. Like my minimum age is 16 on most places. And if you're 16, you have to have a parent or legal guardian with you. Yeah, because we're not babysitters. No, you know? I'm not babysitting you. Yep. That's exactly how I feel about it. Like I said, you know, there's definitely some places I would not take my kids to, but Ashmore is one place that actually my daughter and another friend's son, we all sat outside and was BSing all night because we hadn't seen each other in a while our kids were investigating. They had the whole place to themselves and loved it. And then the Ray County Museum, that's a great place too. You know, Ray County Museum is in, it's outside of Kansas City. It's in Richmond, Missouri. But yeah, you know, my kids have been there numerous times too. So yeah, there's a lot of places I want to go. Becky, I didn't get to go to Romania. I had some stuff come up, so I didn't get to go to Romania with her. Do you know Maria Schmidt? She owns Mysterious Adventures Tours. I don't.
No, I don't.
She takes all these trips overseas to haunted locations. She went to Italy and they got to go to Poveglia. And cool. She did a trip to Egypt. They investigated the pyramids. Let me think, what else has she done? They're going to the Aztec ruins in 2024, 2025. Oh yeah. And they went, this was Maria's second time to Romania, and Becky and her had one of the castles all to themselves. That would be awesome. I was like, so I don't go and you guys get a haunted castle all to yourself. Did they sleep there? No, they didn't. They had to go back to their hotel. They only had it for a certain amount of time.
Right.
The whole group was supposed to go investigate, and everybody left except for her and Maria, and they were sitting in the dungeon just investigating.
Wow. That's
I'm
really cool.
jealous if you can't tell.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel a little
Yeah, I'm a
jealous
little
too.
jealous too, sitting over here. I'm like, man.
So
Right.
I told Maria, I said, so when I get to go to Romania with you, you can guarantee I get to investigate with you alone in a haunted castle like Becky, right?
Right.
There you
Right.
go. There you go. Werewolf asked the question, how do these things react to kids?
When my daughter, I would take her to the libraries. There was actually one we went to, and she was using the K2. And she asked if it was a little boy or girl, and it was a boy. And then an adult asked a question, and this kid refused to answer. And then she would ask a question, and it would answer.
Mm-hmm.
And then another little kid would ask a question, and it would answer the little kid, but they didn't answer adults.
Interesting. That's really cool. It's really cool. I don't have any like special stories when I've taken my oldest. She, nothing different that don't ever happen to me. So that's cool though that your daughter had that encounter like that. That was cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
I guess they must have felt safe with her, or
yeah.
their little kid.
Yep. Tripping Up on You asks, what's one of your most active locations?
OSR.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I won't say that's the most active for me, but I did see something there that I've never seen before. So OSR, it has a vote from me.
What did you see?
I saw the light in the attic.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I saw it several times, and it actually came so close to one point, and it came down to the ground, and you can actually see two legs walking. You could see the bottom half of a body walking in that light. Yeah, it was there was 4 of us that saw that.
That's
so
awesome.
yeah.
I'm kind of jealous now.
Well, it was kind of like a light blue, but it was bright. So,
Can you say exactly what OSR stands for?
Ohio State Reformatory Prison in Mansfield.
Yep.
Yeah, I just call it the Shawshank Redemption Building.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so jealous. Like I said, my uncle is from there, and his mom could actually, from his mom's porch, you could see the prison. Could you just imagine that whole prison like in Shawshank? Oh,
No.
I would just, can you imagine getting to investigate that whole thing? That would be so great. You can just see me like, but yeah, you can't do that now because you can't even take pictures out that back window because of the actual.
No, you sure can't. Well, the prison, the newer prisons back there.
Yeah.
So, and it's an active location. I guess they don't want you to send smoke signals over there to let them know if the guard's watching or something.
We actually,
no
so in the TV shows and movies, you see them go from point A to point B in lines and things. The one time we were over there, we were watching back there, and they actually, just like in the movies, you can tell when their mealtime is. You see them all out. They go in lines. When it's done, they all go back in lines. I was just like, oh, wow, it really is like in the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, that's really cool. Very cool. Well, we're coming up to the hour and a half mark. Do you want to talk real quick again about the conference coming up in March?
Yeah, it's the Women of the Paranormal celebration. It's open to everybody, all ages. Saturday will be speakers. Brandy and Crystal will be speaking that day. We have Devin McKinney. She is going to be speaking. She owns the largest haunted location in Colorado.
Wow.
Well, haunted house, like jump scare haunted house, but she also owns her own team.
Cool.
Nice.
Team and event company. We have Mackenzie Concher. She has an all-female team. They hold events out there too. She'll be hosting the paranormal panel we'll have. We'll also have a survivors panel. We'll have people come in virtually in person, just to let those people know they're not alone. And we'll have you gals speak, and
we're going to talk on Bigfoot and Dogman, I believe. Isn't that what we talked about, Brandy?
I believe so. If we don't add a little paranormal in there, because got to add that in there.
I'm trying to think who else is going to speak. I feel bad now. Like I have all these ladies. Sunday we'll have psychic and metaphysical Sunday. We'll have psychic workshops. Catherine Cyrillos from Greece. She'll be doing a 2-hour gallery reading.
Wow.
And
nice.
We'll have our vendors, which we still need, open to everybody. And then Saturday night will be Brushy Mountain being investigated, and Sunday the hospital itself. Very cool.
Very cool. We're looking forward to it. It's gonna be definitely a fun weekend. And I think we figured out, Brandy, it's an 8-hour trip for us over there?
About what it is for me too.
Yeah.
No, it's only going to be like 6.5 to get over there. For me. For you, it might be.
I think it was 8 or something. Yeah.
For you, it's 8. It's like 6.5 for me. This is not a bad one, of course. But I'm telling you this. Do you have tickets left for Brushy Mountain and the Harriman Hospital?
I do. I just had to release a few because people didn't make their payments.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, everybody, if you can get in on that ghost hunt at Brushy Mountain, do it. I went and had a blast. A lot of crazy things happen. Do it. Harriman Hospital, I haven't been there yet, but I've had friends that say that place is magnificent. So get your tickets. Just get them.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. It really is. And it's for a great cause, you know?
Yeah.
And, and you know, just a lot of people don't realize, you know, and I guarantee you there's somebody that you know that has been through domestic violence in one way or another, you know, and you may not know it now, but you might down the road. So anyway, it's for a great cause.
We're taking non-perishable donations. We're going to have a raffle and silent auction, and the money from that raffle and silent auction will go to the Avalon Center. We're actually, Rex Nielsen sent some books over. He signed Sandy Boyd from the Lake County Jail up in Chicago. She's donating an investigation for 5 people.
Very
Girl
cool.
Marston's supposed to send over a book, so I got a list of people.
Yeah, very, very cool.
But
all right, everybody. We will see everybody next week. Paranormal Among Us tomorrow night, 9:00. I'll be on with him. We're going to talk some ghost stuff, and we got some pictures and stuff to show. And then tune in over now to Paranormal Roundtable. I do believe Josh is live or going live here real quick.
He's on.
Yep.
He is.
What's that?
I think he's live now.
Okay.
I don't think he's live yet, or he might have just went live.
Awesome. You guys head over there. And thank you, Jen. This was fun. I appreciate you. And
Thanks for having me.
Do for the cause.
Thank you, ladies, for coming. I appreciate that too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And until next week, guys.
Absolutely.
Oh, real quick. I almost forgot, and I did this before, and I don't want to do it again. Thank you to Sherry. Thank you very much. And Hawk. We appreciate you all.
Thanks to Hawk.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Both of you. So anyway, okay, let's try this again. Good night, everybody.
Good night.